the buyer pays for it. And the auto insurance, usually this buyer pay for it because it is for the bank. So since the seller has nothing to do with the bank, buyers pay for the auto all the time. And the escrow charges. Basically, escrow is like a non-related third party that deal with the transaction, crunch the numbers, that type of things. And here are the charges. And this and the transfer tax. In this case, the seller haven't paid in this case, the transfer taxes is $3,000, and the buyer's paying for it. And there is a government recording charges, $39. The buyer's paying for that. And also, so if you add everything, it's $18,000 a change, and that's on the buyer side. So at the end of the day, closing table, when they sign the loan documents, they will bring in $6,000 or wire transfer this amount to the title company. And the seller side is a lot simpler. Well, of course, the sell price is the same, $500,000, and they have $31,000 in fees. And the seller still owe the bank $322,876 to the bank, and seller is paying the buyer $1,630 for the county tax. So the seller haven't paid it yet, so they're gonna pay it to the buyer, and when tax time comes, the buyer will pay for the whole 6 months. Since this is a prorated amount, the amount that from July 1st to the date of the close, well, seller is supposed to pay for it, but the tax bill haven't came yet, so the buyer take the $1,630, and then when tax time comes, the buyer will pay for the whole 6 months or a year. So the total reduction from the seller, including the loan amount and all the other fees, subtract from $500,000, we get at close, the seller will see a check of $144,000 and some change. And let's look at the seller's settlement charges. Okay, the sellers paid $20,000 to the agents, and this is odd, but this buyer is paying for $10,000 of the agent's fees as well. So total $30,000, which is 6% of the purchase price. And there are some title charges, deed preparations, process administrations, sales tax, and the seller actually paid for a terminal report as well. So if you add everything up, well, mostly it's the commission. That's the big chunk. That's a big chunk of the fees goes into commissions, and the rest of the fees are small. Sometimes the bank charge a fee for paying it off, and some of the bank actually charge you a fee for paying early as well. So depending on what type of loan it is, you have to beware. And to summarize, the buyer for $500,000 home, you basically look at 2% range for the fees, unless you're paying points and paying the lender. The lender can get his salary from the buyer or the borrower, or they can get it from the bank. Assuming the lender get the commission from the bank, then usually it's 2% of the purchase price is the close cost. So this one come fairly close. And at the closing table, the buyer will need to pay $106,000, and the seller will receive $144,000 and change. That conclude the settlement statements and what fees the buyer and seller needs to pay.